Up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby, and welcome back to another episode here at the Brown Book Series. Y'all know what's up. It's Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, and we have a treat for you tonight. Tonight, join the Brown Book Series is author extraordinaire, Miss L.K. Shaw. So, y'all know what to do. Go get your drink on. Go tell your friends. Go let everybody know that the Brown Book Series is on. It's a Wednesday night. It's 6 o'clock. Let's go.
Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience, October 28th and 29th, 2022 at the Westin Old Town, Alexandria, featuring some of your favorite romance authors: Brenda Jackson, Beverly Jenkins, Iris Boland, Deborah Fletcher Mello, and so much more. The Raw experience will include book signings, meet and greet, photo ops, vendors, shopping, surprise celebrity guests, and live performances. Registration is wide open at brownbookseries.com. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents RAW Experience.
And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage for the first time here at the Brown Book Series, best-selling author of Sexy, Sinful Suspense. We're going to find out what all that about in a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss L.K. Shaw. Hello.
Hi.
How are you, darling?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Now, LK, we're going to take it easy with you because it's your first time here at the Brown Book Series. So we're not going to go too far. We're going to play real nice tonight. We're going to play real nice. First of all, just let me say, excuse my sounds back here because my lawn guy decided he wants to come right now and mow the lawn. I appreciate him because my stuff was looking like Jungle Jim out there, but
I totally understand.
Yes, but he's like, okay, what? She's doing an interview. Let me go do it right now. So we got.
Isn't that the way it always is?
That's how it always is. And you already know Scooby is like, hey, mom, what? You got an interview? Okay, cool. But check this out. Let me go pee real quick. And he tricks me every time, right? Because I'll let him out. The next thing you know, 15 minutes, I'm like, they're like, shit, what are you doing? Story of my life. Waiting on Scooby to come home. Waiting on him.
Yeah, it's never when you're like in a hurry. Is when, whoever it is always takes their time.
Always takes their time. Just get on my nerves. But it's okay. We're going to make it through like we always do. So, LK, tell us a little bit about yourself. Just what is it like in the life of LK Shaw?
Oh, goodness. So I am so I live in South Carolina. I live with my dog, Miss P. She's a Beagle mix, very high maintenance. And I've been published for 6 years. Actually, I just had my 6-year anniversary on May 1st.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's literally pretty much writing and traveling. Chocolate lover. I call myself a perpetual procrastinator.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I know, and I was, I came in a little early today because I'm either 5 minutes late or 20 minutes early, and I figure so. I'd rather be early than late. So.
I love this. So listen, you was cool with it. That's why I was like, okay, listen, I need about 2 minutes. You was like, cool, girl. I understand.
I drive everybody crazy because everybody else in my family, they're early people. It's like, okay, if you're not somewhere 5 minutes early, then you're late, and they're always waiting for me because I'm either like 30 minutes early for something, like ridiculously early, or I will always be at least 5 minutes late. Always.
Yeah,
So.
you sound like me too. There's no in between with me.
No,
Yeah.
there isn't. Like I cannot get there any earlier than like 30 minutes or any late, closer to the time. But yeah, so they all just know if you want me to be somewhere, you better tell me like 15 minutes earlier than you really want me to be there.
Listen, I'm the same way. And then my brothers used to say, okay, we got to make sure she's not too early, make sure she's not too late, but then just make sure I show up at all. Because sometimes I just be like, look, I can better make it.
Yep. Yeah.
So I've gotten better with that part.
Yeah, it's those things where in the moment you're like, oh yes, I'll be there. I'm great, and then when the time actually gets there, you're like, I don't know that I really want to go.
Yeah, I just thought, God, it sounded good in the beginning.
Right.
Then I'm like, yeah, now I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. My brothers used to be so mad because they're like, yo, we're waiting on you. I'm like, I'm not coming. I didn't tell nobody. I ain't gonna be able to make it. So they're like, really, Shay? But they know how I am. I've gotten better now. Now I've gotten better. Now, nothing that's important though. Important stuff, I'm there. I'm still either 30 minutes on time, 30 minutes late. Or 5 minutes late, but I'll show up. But it used to be, I don't know. I think about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if it's very important, then I'll make sure I'll just be there 30 minutes early and just wait.
Yeah, something like that, girl. You not like me. It's a mess. So I love this. Okay, I love that you're in South Carolina and you always talking about your dog, Miss P. So
yes, I had. Well, so her name came up because the very first book that I ever wrote, my heroine's name was Penny, and it was and that's my dog's name. So it was so weird to like talk about Penny when I'm writing romance novels. And so I was like, I'm going to have to just call her something else. So yeah. So she became Miss P. And that's what everybody knows her as. Like she's very famous. I post pictures of her all the time on social media. And so like everybody knows her as Miss P. But yeah, so that was kind of a weird thing, but that's just how she is known now. But her real name is Penny. But I said that was the heroine of my very, very first book, and it was kind of weird. So I had to like rename her for social media.
Lord, I totally understand and I love it. So I hear that you were an avid reader since childhood, but you became hooked on historical romances. Now, what author just had you like, you know what? Shit, this is my shit right here.
So the very first romance that I ever read was called it was like Dakota Desire, Dakota Dream. It was Dakota something, and it was Dana Ransom. And it was, my mother was an avid reader. I didn't read romance before then. I was reading teenage murder mysteries, R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike.
Okay.
And one summer I ran out of books to read, and I didn't have any, and we lived out in the country, and so I wasn't able to get into town. And so I just said to my mom, just let me read one of your books. I just need something to read. And that was it. And she read historicals, and it was, back in those days, the Westerns, and it was usually Indians and the white woman, which, obviously nowadays we don't see that, but back then that was very primarily what was there. But I loved historical. I went from American historical to Regency historical. And so that was, I don't know, I was hooked from there. So I guess I'm glad I picked a good book to read.
I'm glad you did. Right, but since you was hooked on historicals, like why didn't you go when you became decided you wanted to become an author? Why wasn't historical your go-to?
Well, I actually stopped reading historical really, probably 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
But and I moved into contemporary. But and somebody else had asked me this too, of why I didn't write historicals. And the honest truth is that there is so much research that has to go into writing historicals, because they spoke different words, they wore different clothes, they all these different things, and honestly, I am just way too lazy to like do all that research.
Listen, I understand.
That's the honest truth. Is there's so much research, and you have to be historically accurate when you're writing historical romance, because
Girl,
the readers know
they will come for you, honey.
they will.
Yes.
They will. You have to be very accurate with, like I said, the kind of clothes they wore, and even some of the words they used.
Right.
And it's just way too much research. And so I still read it, but yeah, I'd rather write contemporary.
I get it. I totally understand. Now, when you decided, well, first of all, because you say you was avid reading now, you only been published for 6 years.
Yes.
When did you decide you just want writing was your thing? I'm going to become a writer. And how hard was it for you to get? Are you traditionally published, or are you an indie author?
I am completely indie.
Okay, cool. I love it. So when did you decide you're going to just take the big plunge, and put your work out there for all of us to see?
So I I cave to peer pressure very easily. And I had, I'd been in the reader community for a few years, since 2013, and when I discovered that book conventions and everything actually were a thing, I had no idea. And so I started going to to book signings, and met a lot of other readers, and just had a good group of friends. And in 2015, they all started to write, and they wanted to do National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo, in November. And so they were just like, oh, you should just do this. And they just kept, pressuring me. So I said, all right, I'll try it. And started writing. I had no idea what to write, but I figured, well, you write what you know. And so I started writing this, BBW woman who goes to a BDSM club that
Girl!
Before.
But wait, hold on, wait a minute. I caught that tease. You said write what you know. Why do you? How you know this?
I started reading, romance.
Oh.
And I was very interested in it. It was very fascinating.
Oh, I thought because maybe you was at a BDSM club or something. And
yes, I definitely did go. I was very, I was so curious. And
you wasn't a part of it and decided to write about it. You just was a write about it and then went to the club.
No, I went to the club first. Girl. Yeah, and that was, at the time, that was a lot of what I read was BDSM romance. That was, the club romances, and that was that was what I enjoyed reading. And so since I enjoyed reading it,
I was like, in South Carolina?
No, this was in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, Ohio got some. Yes, girl.
Yeah, I was in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. And so I went, and just kind of watched everything. It was very interesting.
You didn't have to participate in nothing?
Oh no, not
you didn't want to participate in nothing?
Well, I mean, I was at the first night. No, it was very eye-opening experience.
Okay.
But so I was like, oh, so what if this woman goes to this club and meets this dom, and so that's what I just wrote. I think like the first, I've since rewritten the book, but the first 5 chapters of the very first draft of that book is, aside from what happened, but it was from my real experience of being at the club and all the things I saw. And so after the month of NaNoWriMo was over, I was like, oh, let me just keep working on this. And come January, my friends were like, you should just publish this, finish it and publish it.
This is awesome. Yo, listen, I've never been to a BDSM club. I've been to a few parties, but never a club.
Yeah, I've actually been to several of them. Just I've been to one in Atlanta. So I went to, my mother is again, she's an avid reader, and she's always gone to book signings as my assistant. And
I thought you was about to say your mom is part of the BDSM club. I was about to just
no, but I took her to the one in Atlanta, and oh my God, she was just like, I'm ready to go home.
I did not know it was one in Atlanta.
She was a good sport about it. She was, and it was just, and it was only what they call it was a munch. So there was nobody, everybody was clothed. It was just like a gathering. It was a get together, kind of a meet and greet thing. But we got a tour, we got to take a tour of it. And, so I said it was literally just a meet and greet, but you got a tour of everything. And
girl, who do you meet and greet with at a BDSM club?
Yeah, that's literally a thing. They're vanilla. They're called munches, and
somebody come take me to a munch. I'm going.
Yeah, they're called munches, and they're literally just, you go and talk to people in the community, and so they have them. I've gone to, when I was in Ohio, we went to like the bowling alley, and we went to like every I think once a month they met at the billiards club. And
that's the thing. They have this swingers club in Atlanta. They have two, Venus and Trapeze. So when I went to, of course, I was hosting something at the Trapeze.
It's all coming out.
They know me. And that's when they had like a BDSM night or whatever. And but that's why I never went to a club itself. Of course, they had the night, and I was like, oh, this is cool. But now I'm intrigued now. Oh my God. So when you first went, did you know what to expect, or you just didn't know? Because you was reading about it a lot. So did you?
No, I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea. It was and I went by myself. I mean, I'd gone to a couple of munches. I'd met a few people, I'd talked to them, and and so they invited me to come. And so I went by myself. And they have a bracelet system where they have different colored bracelets that basically denote your interests, if you're looking, or what is submissive, dominant, like whatever it is. And so you pick out a bracelet, and that way it's an obvious thing.
So you had one like, I'm just researching the book. Did your bracelet said that?
No, they're like if you go to a carnival or something, you just get those band, you get or a concert, you just get those plastic bands, and they're just a different color, but each color means something else. And so yeah, I just kind of walked in, and I had no idea what to expect.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah. So but everybody there was very nice, and
I'm sure.
But it was very, like I said, it was a very interesting experience. And so I put it in my book. I put it in the book, the different things that I saw the first time I was there, and it just kind of went from there. And after I finally published the first book, I had a couple of side characters that I was like, I think they need a story. And over I think I wrote the last book in 2018, I think was the last book that came out. And it ended up being an 8-book series based on this, club that I created.
I absolutely love it. You know what? I am so intrigued that it's just a shame. Now, speaking of books, it brings us to the first segment here, the Brown Book Series, called Name That Book. Will we give you a synopsis or a character or something pertaining to one of your books, and you have to name that book?
Oh, okay. Okay, one of my books. Okay, I think I can do that.
One of your books. And since you have a couple of series, if we give you a character, it's the main character of that book, is whatever that book is the main character of. All right. First up, I love this guy too. Name that book character. Navy SEAL David Marshall.
That is the Navy SEAL Secret Baby.
The Navy SEAL Secret Baby. I said he done came back from sea and got a whole baby going on. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Next up, name that book. In search of my missing brother, I cross paths with a sexy but dangerous man. Everywhere I go, he watches me with a heated gaze that sets my body on fire.
That is In Too Deep.
Girl, let me tell you something about some In Too Deep, a forbidding enemies to lovers romance. And that is book one of your Love and Protect series. That whole little series is awesome. I love that series. I do.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I like the whole police people and you know the protection and all that. I like this, and I love the enemies to lovers. That's another one of my favorite tropes. Second chance love and enemies to lovers I love those are.
Yeah. I that was the first enemies to lovers that I wrote, and it was I loved their snappy attitude.
Yes, the banter was
between each other. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. A lot of fun to write.
That banner was a mess. All right, you're doing great, girl.
Oh, good. I'm glad I know them all.
All right. Name that book. There are only two things in this world I give a shit about: my beloved piano and the music I create with it.
That is Love Notes.
That's Love Notes. That's a beautiful book.
I
love all your book covers too, which is crazy. I'm like, how she got these good ass book covers?
I have a great designer.
Oh, you good
cover designer, yes.
You gotta get them out of hiding because your book covers are everything. All right, next up, name that book character. Phoebe Lawson.
That is Betrayal.
That's Betrayal. It's book 6 in your Dawns of Club Eating. Book 6. Okay. All right. Last up, name the book. Just wait until you see your new master. He reminds me of the devil himself.
That is my latest book, Irish Rogue.
Yes, your latest release, Irish Rogue, and in arranged marriage of mafia romance. That's part of the Brooklyn Kings, right?
Yes. Yep. And actually, I have a copy right here.
Yeah, look at that boy, that chest open like that.
So a reader told me that he looked like a young Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20. I was like, oh, he does. Actually, maybe that's why I like this cover so much.
Me too. Yeah. I like that. That is cute. So, LK, tell us a little bit about Irish Rogue.
So it is the 5th book in the Mafia series, Brooklyn Kings. It is actually the Irish side of the family in the first book, which is, again, I have The Devil I Don't Know. It is an arranged marriage between the Italians and the Irish, and so Irish Rogue is actually the twin brother of Brenna, who is the wife in The Devil I Don't Know, and Patty is her twin brother. And he is, he's the classic playboy. He has no intention of settling down, and he just enjoys women. And then one night, Anya, who is she's the Russian sister of my heroine from The Enemy in My Bed. When she was 18, she was actually sex trafficked, and she was rescued in The Enemy in My Bed. And it's been 5 years since that happened. And, her sister is, always trying to discreet, she's not pushing her, but, she's introducing her to all these different men and hoping that, maybe one of them will spark her interest. and she has no interest in getting married either. She is still dealing with all of her, um, you know, trauma from what happened to her, and she is not interested. And so she comes up with this plan, um, that Patty is perfect for, because he has no interest in, settling down in a relationship. And so she approaches him one night at a family event and asks him if, um, he would marry her. And that way they both get what their families want, and they can live separate lives, do what they want. No, no strings, no anything. He
Right.
can continue living the life he wants to live, and she's okay with that. And, as long as he leaves her alone, and they're both happy.
Right.
So yeah, so that's kind of where that came from.
I absolutely love it. Now, how long did it take you to write this book?
Um, Usually, well, this book turned out to be a lot longer than all the rest of the books. So it took me a little bit longer. I think it ended up taking me about 2.5, 3 months, about 2.5 months.
Okay. So
To
how
write.
long does it normally take you to write a book?
Normally, I can write a book right at just under 2 months. 59, 60 days. But this one took me about an extra 3 weeks.
Okay. I understand that. That's what's up. So how many books have you written and which one is your favorite?
So Irish Rogue was book number 27.
Oh, good. In 6 years to start. That's what's up.
Yeah, I have another pen name that I write closed door clean romance. And so I had co-wrote two of those 27 books. But um gosh, my favorite, I mean, I love all of them for different reasons.
Right.
So, I think that's like asking somebody, like who their favorite child is,
Right,
You really, you
and I
really
tell
can't,
everybody, you
you
have one.
really can't pick one.
You can't pick one, but you have a favorite. Everyone has a favorite. You have they for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? For different stuff. You got a favorite kid. One, everybody know they got that one kid who just ain't shit. It is what it is.
Well, I don't have children, so I don't know.
So you're good, right? I only have one. You know what I'm saying? And I tell him all the time, "You're my favorite son." He's like, "I'm your only son," and my son has only one daughter. I tell her all the time, "And you're my favorite daughter." So we.
Right, yeah. Um, if I have to actually pick a favorite book, and it would probably be The Devil I Don't Know.
I like that one too. I don't know if I like it more because of the words on the inside or because the man is on the outside.
Yeah, it's a very nice cover.
Now, why is that? Why would you pick that one as your favorite?
Um, I think I would pick that one because that is the book that really helped me. It actually helped me become a full-time author.
Okay.
So that was kind of the one. In my previous, life, I was a physical therapist assistant,
Okay.
and I at the end of 2019, I had planned on taking a couple of months off just because I traveled. I did travel therapy, and I was doing a lot of work in Kentucky and working in nursing homes, and I loved what I did. But I'd been traveling for a couple years, and so I was like, I'm just going to take a couple months off, and um, a couple turned to a couple years, with everything going on in the world.
Right. Right.
And so I had started writing this book in February of 2020, and I wrote a few thousand words, and then I was like, no, I really need to go back to this other series that I had started and wrote. to write book 3 in that. And so I set it aside, and then I came back to it a few months later, and I couldn't write it. I'd been working with a writing coach, and I feel like this is also the book that kind of something about my writing changed, and just became better. It was like the craft of writing kind of like clicked a little bit more. And yeah, so I ended up publishing it in May of 2021. And I think that's kind of really where everything took off for me.
Okay.
So that's I think that's kind of why it's my favorite.
Oh, that's sweet. I absolutely love it. That's cool. All right, that brings us to the next segment here, the Brown Book series called Who'd You Rather? Well, we take your heroes and pit them against each other, and you let us know who you want to have a one-night stand with.
Oh, okay.
Now, we didn't do
This will be fun.
Yes, we didn't do your obvious heroes, because I was like, you know how some authors have one book, like the hero in that book, that they just like, I don't care, it's gonna be him against everybody. So I was like, let's try to yeah. So I was like, let's go and get, go through here and get some more heroes. You know what I'm saying? Just see. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, who'd you rather? First up, Detective Daniel Weber or Officer Victor Gladstone? Is it Victor?
Oh, Weber.
Weber.
Definitely Weber.
I said Weber too, but hey, I was like, let me just throw it out there. Okay, Weber. All right, next up. They put his man whole name too. Sebastian Nichols or Leonidas Xavier Marshall, better known as Leo.
Leo. Yes. I would have to say, I'd have to say Leo.
Leo? Okay, well, Leo.
Leo is, well, because Leo's a dominant. He's definitely very, very, controlling in the bedroom.
Yes.
And yeah, so I have to go with Leo.
Okay, cool. All right, Leo it is. Okay, last up, who'd you rather? David Marshall or Kyle Harper?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one.
That was a hard one too for me.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Kyle.
Okay, all right. Why Kyle over David?
Yeah, I think David is too perfect. Like David's like, he's literally that perfect book boyfriend, which is fantastic, which is great. You love those. But I'm always I kind of go for the more, damaged the damaged guy. So I think that's why I'd have to say Kyle, because he's got a little more,
He got a little more shit with him. That's trauma. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
poor David. I mean, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
David's a little too perfect.
David is. He's so wonderful, honey. But them Navy SEALs, I'd be like, ooh, love it. All right, author's moments. What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year?
Oh,
both in the literary world and in your personal life.
Oh, well, in my personal life, my most urgent priority for the rest of the year in my personal life is to get my dog healthy. Like that's my urgent priority. She's poor thing. She's had a rough go of it for the last 3 months, and she had surgery, and now she's got some other issues going on, and she's getting older. So that's my personal urgent priority for the rest of this year, is to just is get my dog healthy. Professionally, in writing, I have 2 more books coming out this year. I have Irish Charmer and Irish Rebel. which
Yeah.
will close out the Brooklyn King series. I'm getting the first 3 books translated into German,
Oh,
and
cool.
I am starting on audio production. So basically I would like to get, that's my priority, is to get these 2 books, the last 2 books in the Brooklyn Kings series written, published, and then start working on my the translations and my audiobooks.
I absolutely love it. That's what's up. Go on, girl. Yeah. All right. Author's moments. And being a novelist, what did you learn a little too late?
Marketing.
Girl, marketing ain't no hoe.
Marketing. Marketing. Yeah, I that was one of those things where I wish I would have started learning it a lot sooner than I did. I think, I finally kind of have been working on learning how to, do Facebook ads and marketing my books and getting them out there in front of new readers, just within the last, probably year or so. And so I wish I would have done that a lot sooner.
Okay. Well, hey, it's never too late. So you got it
Right.
now. That's all that matters. I absolutely love it. Author's moments. If you could have tea with one fictional character of yours, who would it be?
Of mine?
Yeah.
Oh, it would be Caitlin.
Why Caitlin?
100% Caitlin. 100% Caitlin. She is. She has to. Like we're not supposed to pick our favorite books. We're not supposed to pick our favorite characters because they're. Again, it's picking your favorite kid. But Caitlin Donnelly is absolutely the most favorite character I ever have written, and I would just love to hang out with her. She is so fun and sassy and sarcastic and just yeah, definitely 100% her, no doubt.
Okay. All right, Miss Caitlin. Yeah, I love it. All right. LK, if you could sit down with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Oh my gosh. I would tell her definitely not to care as much about other people's opinions about her, and to be true to herself, because it's how you feel about yourself is more important than what other people think about you, because you have no control over them.
That's true. That's absolutely correct. You're right, girl. 15 was such a whew, that was
a rough age. I never want to be 15 again, ever.
15 is a rough age. It's like you're just trying to figure out your life. It's like everything is starting, and oh my God, it's a mess.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that, at that age, that it's, when I was 15, I think I was, a sophomore in high school, and I cared so much about the opinions of other people who, at the time, as an adult, you don't pay my bills, you don't, make decisions for me, like, and and I think a lot of our decisions at that age are made based on what other people think, as opposed to being, what we think is more important.
That makes sense. I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree. LK, what would your pen name be?
Oh, I don't know. I definitely don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I do kind of want, LK is actually, it's my initials, and it's almost my real name anyway. But nobody can spell my first name, and so I just use my initials. Yeah. What would my pen name be?
Yeah, something erotic and sexy. It can't be Penny because you already took it from your dog.
I know. So I don't know why. Elizabeth Barrett,
Oh, that
which
sounds.
I'm pretty sure that's the from Pride and Prejudice, like the sister from either Pride and
Yeah,
Prejudice.
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's just the name that popped in my head.
But the hell, they don't know. Sure, Elizabeth Barrett. I like. Listen, I think that would be hot. That's something you gotta get a pen name that you're gonna answer to. Because if not, they'll just be sitting there looking like assholes calling your name, and you're like, who the fuck they talking to?
That's actually happened to me at a signing. I had a bunch of people, I had several people were yelling "LK, LK," and I was just oblivious. And finally, somebody just yelled my real name, and I'm like, "What? What?" I still don't sometimes don't answer to it, even though I've been using it for 6 years.
I get somebody yell my real name. I'd be like, that I would recognize. They're gonna misspell it anyway or fuck it up. So it's a mess. All right, let's see. Author's moments. If you could master one instrument on earth, what would it be?
Ooh, I would have to say the cello. I think the cello is very cool. I love those two cello guys that play that I think they're Croatian. They're called they're called the two cellos. I just think that is such a cool instrument, and
I think so too.
yeah.
All right, for the cello, girl. Okay, honey. Get it on in, honey, for the old cello. Author's moments, LK. What was the proudest moment from the past 12 months?
Oh, when I had a certain income goal. I had an income goal that I wanted to meet, and so I do this I do this thing, and it started a few years ago where I do what's called future casting, and I literally at the end of each year I have a whiteboard and I have it on my desk in front of me, and I actually write down 5 things that I accomplished in the next year as though I actually already had accomplished them. So they're all written, in past tense. So, in 2022, I think like one I have right now is literally in 2022. I spent less time being stressed. So at the end of the year, I go through and I'm like, okay, so did I accomplish all of these things that I said I was going to accomplish? And so one of the biggest ones was that I had written for myself for that I was going to accomplish in 2021 was a certain income goal, and I actually surpassed it. So that was probably So that was I would say that was probably it.
Go, girl, shit.
I know. I know. I feel like it should be, like I wrote the best book I'd ever written, or something, money.
No, because that's a goal is a goal. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, you can't market yourself, you can't get behind yourself, and you sitting over there broke talking about I got a book. I'm like, okay, girl, but you know,
well, I mean, and that's the thing is, this is my career. This is the thing that pays my bills, and so when I can support myself, then I mean, and I don't have anybody else because I'm single, so I have to be able, and so to be able to support myself with my writing, I think
get out here and get it.
I think we all should be proud of that.
I think so too, and I always admire. That's why people get better jobs. They be like, "Yeah, I want to succeed. I want to do this. I want to make a better income or whatever." So that goal you should have. And I always admire authors who are full-time authors. When you're like, "What else you do?" It's like, that's it, boo. You know what I'm saying? Like I done took the leap, and I'm fully invested in myself, and I stepped out on faith, and now I'm out here, and that's all I'm doing. So I commend you for that.
Yeah, well, thank you. And as we're women. We're self-employed. We work for ourselves. We have we have a lot that we have to do and to be able to support ourselves, and especially in this day and age where we don't have anybody to rely on. It's us.
That's it. And just because you get a man don't mean you can rely on him. Because honey, there's so many sorry ass men out here. You be like, man, I could did bad by myself. Now I done brought you up in here with your sorry ass and your sorry ass dangling and everything. It's just I listen. So you're doing great. I'm proud of you. All right, author's moments. What's the one dream that you've tucked away?
Oh, it would be to be debt free,
Mm,
own my own house, like
yeah.
no bills. That's my dream. I think that is just to be, but I love to travel. I love to travel, and my dream is literally to be able to travel anytime I want, anywhere I want, anytime I want.
I love that. Now, if money wasn't an object, where would you live?
Greece.
Greece. Oh my God. I heard it was beautiful over there.
Oh, it is. It is. Yes, I was when I graduated from physical therapy assistant school, I treated myself, and my best friend and I went for 2 weeks and lived and was there for I said we were there for 2 weeks, and it was amazing. And I loved it there. It's so beautiful.
I absolutely, oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I heard it was. I was like, I wants to go one day. Gots to go. All right, okay. What are you amazingly good at? That you're like, that's my shit. I don't care. I will win number one. I'm amazingly good at this.
Napping.
Listen, girl, I'm talking about, especially in the afternoon. Oh my God, those naps in the afternoon is beautiful. Ugh.
Yeah, like yes, and I would say either napping or procrastinating. Those are like my two things that I could get gold medals in.
Get you, because I'm like, listen, I'm with you. I'm getting better with my procrastination, because sometimes I just be like, I don't feel like doing this shit, and it's just they're like, Shay, you have to get to it now, and I'd be like, but if you would let
Yeah,
me,
I I I literally sent myself I sent myself an email. I sent myself an email the other night that it was literally stop fucking around. Like that was my email that I sent to myself. So when
I'm
I got
telling
up the
you,
next day, I was like,
listen, I said it to
get to
myself
it.
every day. All right, Shay, quit fucking around now. Get to it. I be like, gone. And so I love it. LK, if you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
Mm. Um,
Dead or
Freddie
alive?
Mercury.
Who?
Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
Freddie Mercury.
girl, I just want him to just come sing to me. That whole
I know, right?
bohemian. Oh my God.
Yes. Let's see, Freddie Mercury, Prince.
Oh.
Oh my God, I love Prince. I will actually watch his halftime show every once in a while from when
Listen,
he played his halftime show because
I-
I love.
Freddie Mercury and Prince on at the same time at the same place. Girl. Okay, who else you got? I'm coming to this party. Who else you got?
Yeah. Let's see. This is going to be a very eclectic group of people.
Okay.
Lorraine Heath would be my other one. She was actually one of my most favorite historical romance authors when I was, I said when I was 15 years old. She was like, I love.
I
And I
met her
actually
in a
met
book. Yeah, she's so cool.
I met her. There was the historical romance retreat. The very first one was in 2017 in Spokane, Washington, and I actually had, and I still have it. I have her very first book she ever published from
Oh wow.
1994 I have that book. I took it with me, and the first time I met her and had her sign it, and I actually cried when I cried when I met her. I was so
What?
embarrassed.
Oh my God,
I
what
was
did she
so
say?
embarrassed. She was very kind. She was very, very polite, very kind, very nice. But yes, I have this book. She signed it for me. I mean, the glue is coming undone. The pages are, but it's one of my prized possessions. It's one of my favorite books ever. So
Okay.
Lorraine Heath.
Lorraine Heath.
Um,
So we got
oh
Freddie Mercury,
gosh,
Prince, Lorraine Heath.
yes. Um, Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley. She is actually wrote. She wrote Frankenstein. She was the original uh
Okay.
horror author from like the 1800s. I think
Oh,
she would be very interesting. Yeah, yeah. So she would be a very interesting person to talk to about her writing and just her life. Um and then gosh, one other um I don't know. This is one of those things where you freeze when you ask somebody a question that you haven't thought about. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
I get it. We'll let you get away with 4 for right now. And when you come back, we'll make sure we'll get a fresh 5. And you can
Yeah.
rename, these if you want to.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
We'll,
pass. 'Cause
we'll,
literally, I'm at that moment where my brain has just froze. I'm like, I don't know. I can't think.
we'll give you a pass right now since it's your first time with us. You know what I'm saying? We'll make sure, we'll make sure we give you a pass. I absolutely love it. Let me see here. Okay, that's perfect. Brings us to the end of our interview. Okay, we have one question left. But before we ask this last question, we want you to give us all your social media handles, your website, and where can we pick up your latest novel, The Irish Road.
So I am on Facebook, L.K. Shaw Author. I am on Instagram at L.K. Shaw _ author. Goodreads, you can find me at, again, L.K. Shaw. I am on TikTok, which is at L.K. Shaw _ author.
Okay, for the
And
TikTok.
yes, I'm on TikTok. And my website is lkshawauthor.com.
I absolutely love it. Look at you, Miss L.K. Shaw. Yeah. What makes you, well, you decided to use your initials because they can't pronounce your first name, right?
Oh, nobody can spell my first name.
They can't
Like
spell
my
it.
first, yeah, no, like my mother made my first name very, very weird. And so it's a very, nobody can spell my first name. So it was just easier just to use my initials.
I totally understand. Totally understand it. All right. So, but before we go, before we ask this last question, I do want to just say thank you for joining us. You've been a delight speaking with you, Miss L.K.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, now I gotta go look up some BDSM clubs to go in and hang out at. Okay. If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
If only I could sleep.
If only I could sleep. Oh my
It's
God.
so, it's so sad, and and it's so sad. It's just because, like, literally, I said because for the last 11 weeks, I've been dealing with a sick dog, so I haven't slept, and so I'm kind of like, I feel like I've just gotten like delirious over the last
Um,
over the last
I
3 months.
know.
Just,
When the baby, when the dogs are sick, we're sick too. Because I know the world stops when something's wrong with school. I'm like, what? I stop everything.
Yeah. Well,
And
I said, I've had her almost her entire life. She's
yeah,
almost 11 years old. She is my child,
yeah.
so, we do everything for our kids, whether they're, 2-legged or 4. So
I totally understand it. That's what's up. All right. Thank you again for joining us. Hold 1 second for me. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss L.K. Shaw. Yeah.
thank you.
All right. Hold 1 second for me. Hello, y'all. If you liked the interview, I know you did. Please like, subscribe, and share. Y'all know how we do. We'll be back next week with another brand new author for you guys. And you're going to love it because I love it. All right. See you guys next week. Go to our website at brownbookseries.com and they'll keep you updated on the other authors that's going to be coming up. And also, if you haven't got your ticket for Raw, please make sure you go do so because they tell me that the rooms are going fast. See you guys next week. Stay safe and stay positive.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge.